Okay, so we're gonna do a quick demo here of pouring up your guys' impression. We're gonna do the river method because I found it's hard from, I've seen you guys struggle with the brush method. So here's another way to do it. We're gonna do slow river, hand mixing. We're gonna add powder to liquid. We always add powder to liquid, never liquid to powder, or you're gonna end up with chunks. Chunks are bad.
Yep. No, that's good.
Okay, so we're gonna add the powder to the liquid here. This stuff has plenty of working time. I see too many of you working way too frantically. We're gonna stir just a little bit at first to get the material incorporated, but stirring is not what we're going for in the long run. So I'm stirring, scratching the bottom, making sure we got all the material, and I'm gonna scrape the spatula clean. So now we've got our preliminary mix. Yeah, everyone else get where you can see, may as well. Then we're gonna smush. So I'm pushing the material against the side. I'm picking that bottom stuff up. My left hand is moving the bowl and my right hand is smushing it against there. The reason we're doing that is I want to smush the air out of here. I do not want to stir. If I stir, I'm incorporating air. We do not want air. We're not whipping. So I'm going to flatten that against the sides here. Scrape that spatula, then we're going to go from above here. I'm going to run this on here. The material will run down. We'll get some air bubbles coming to the top. Then I'm going to repeat that again. I'll turn that off so we can hear. Normally I wouldn't turn that off. So we're going to smash against the sides, scrape, and then we'll vibrate that down. The material will run down. We'll get a few more bubbles coming up. And at this point, this material is 99% bubble free. And if we do a good slow river, we'll stay really bubble free. We've got plenty of working time here. You guys get way too panicky about throwing the material in. I've honestly got 5 minutes to work with this, maybe 10 if I really needed to. So we're gonna add a little amount of material, no more than this, and I want that material, I need a clean spatula, and I want the material at the edge so I can control it. This isn't useful because I can't aim that material, so a little bit at the edge, that's the max. You guys probably want a little less than that. I'm gonna add this material on this land area here. I'm gonna hold this guy. I want the vibration to move it, but I don't want the impression bouncing around. So I don't want that. So I'm gonna hold it. These little handles are tricky. I'm gonna find the right spot where the impression's not bouncing, and I'm gonna add that material. I'm gonna get a 10-degree tilt on the impression. Let's look from the side. Not this, not flat, 10 degrees. And I'm gonna add that material here on the back. And then gravity and the vibration is gonna push it slowly over. Yeah, don't be shy, get in there. Then I'm gonna add a little more material back in this land area. And gravity and the vibration will just slowly push that material forward. Don't panic, don't add a bunch. I'm just slowly adding a little bit in that land area, adding to the stone I've got, and then I'll get a gentle waterfall that'll go down to the bottom of the prep, fill it up from the top, and I'll just keep adding little bits there till the teeth are full. Now that my teeth are pretty much full, I can add it a little faster, just kind of up here, and I'll just gently touch it. And that's all I really want there, maybe a little bit more, but we don't want this overflow. We just want to kind of fill to the level, and then we're going to set this aside away from the vibrator while we fill the other side, which was this side, correct? This, similar principle, but we don't need to be nearly as precious. So we're just going to add the material in there, and the vibrator will work it down to the bottom and get most of the bubbles out. A few little bubbles are not a big deal on this. There's no margins. This is just structural. You don't want big bubbles, so you do still want to use the vibrator and not add it too fast. Now, this guy is filled. Here is where everyone gets into a lot of trouble, is you guys are frantic, and so you just smush the two together at this point. They're not ready to add together yet. We need a little tower of material here so that when they join, they connect. So we're gonna make a little mohawk here. And until the stone is set up a little bit, it's not going to be ready. If you add your stone like this and it slops back, it's not ready to merge. That's actually holding its position pretty well. So if I add it on there and it kind of stays semi-vertical, I can shape it. This is almost ready. It's slumping a little bit here. I could sink them back down. If it's sinking a lot, you need to literally just wait 1 minute and then try again. But I'm going to kind of re-sculpt this. And that's holding its position pretty well. So now I'll just wipe my fingers off a tiny bit on that paper towel. We are ready to merge the two. Again, I've got plenty of time. So I'll invert this guy to merge them, but when we store this, you want gravity pushing it into your prep. So we'll want to store it like this, okay? But for now, I find it easier to get orient. Oh, we're on the wrong side. Yeah, we need to be on this. Wait a second, did I get missed? No, that's funny. It's got extra curve on there. Okay, no, we're good. I'm gonna reform that because it's slumped more than I wanted. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get oriented. I'm gonna check it. Are we good this direction? Am I good this direction? So we get it in about the right spot. We'll double check from a few angles that we're good. I'm gonna see that the top is reasonable. I'm not gonna squeeze it. Don't squeeze it or it's gonna rebound later. And then, so at this point, like I said, I want gravity going into my prep, and then take a minute, and as this material's set up, you can literally wipe off this excess now, which will be way easier than grinding a bunch off later. You're gonna have to take this plate off, so you don't want stone up in there. That's not beneficial stone. So I'm just gonna gently wipe off this excess where it's going up onto that wall there. We don't need that. Okay, and then that's pretty reasonable for now. We've gotten most of the excess. If you wanted, you could take a little more time to wipe off some of that stuff where it's not needed, but then you want to store this away from the vibrator for at least 45 minutes till there's no heat and it's rock hard. Okay, that's good.